Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Lauri Albert. I am your host, medium and intuitive Lauri Albert. Spiritually Speaking is an interactive, intuitive conversation that embraces all things spiritual. Each week, we discuss different spiritual or life topics. I have guests, and I take calls on the spirit line for viewers to be part of the conversation or to receive a reading. So welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. I hope you all are seeing this, having some issues yet again. You know, it's just so funny how Spirit does what Spirit does. You know, I say all the time that Spirit, I allow Spirit to do and to be like the guide in my life. And yeah. So I have no idea if I'm actually streaming live or not, to be honest with you. I do know that I'm streaming live, but I don't know if I'm streaming live on Facebook. I do know that I am on YouTube. So I hope that you all can see me out there in beauty land. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great night. Okay, so getting right into it, I'm going to forget about all the technical stuff. Hopefully you all will see this at some point. Because this is going to be a great show, because we're going to be talking about spirit guides, who they are, the different types of spirit guides that we have. Because yes, we have different types. Yeah, who knew, right? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about our animal guides. So because we have different, we have spirit guides that happen to be animals too. So it's really cool. So at any rate, yeah, so I'm going to get right into it, because I really have a really great spiritually in the news story. I was really excited to bring this to you guys, because you know what? I really felt Spirit led me, let's just say, really led me to start doing, good news stories. We need good news stories. Don't you guys think? I mean, it's been horrible. Like I said last week, 13 shows and 3 terrorist attacks. Now I can say 14 shows and 4 terrorist attacks. This is insane, right? We're not going to talk about that, because yes, our thoughts and prayers do go out to the people. Although I am one of those people that's like just so tired of saying that, it's just really sad. But at any rate, we're not going there. Where we're going to go is we're going to go to good news, good feeling stories. Yay, right? About darn time. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Okay, so Spiritually in the News at the goodnewsnetwork.org. I love this website. They're always putting like good news stuff on. It's really great. So this is great. The celebrity chef Jose Andres for 9 days, celebrity chef Jose Andres has been in Puerto Rico cooking and delivering thousands of daily meals for hungry survivors of Hurricane Maria. And he's only getting started. I love that. We have big dreams because people have big needs, the Spanish-American chef told his Twitter followers in a video update. Today alone, he says that his crew from the nonprofit World Central Kitchen will be giving away 45,000 meals. That's 10,000 including 10,000 sandwiches, 10,000 chicken and rice dishes, paella galore, which, love paella, right? Cooked up in huge roadside pots, and even hot dogs and burgers. That's amazing. The supermarkets around here have no food, he reports, using his hashtag Chefs for Puerto Rico. But people have their hopes up. You can see them smiling, and they don't complain. God, I just love that, right? The chef, known for his restaurants in Washington, D.C., also announced on Twitter that he and his volunteers have set up a kitchen in the area where there is no electricity or water, and hopes to be able to deliver 100,000 meals by the end of the week. That's just incredible. That's just so beautiful. And the last figures that I could find was that 70% of the island of Puerto Rico still has no power. So yeah, so there's just need. There's great need. And I just think that's amazing. The people that have that can are stepping up to the plate. I just think that's so fantastic. So at any rate, so I'm excited. Okay, so Then we're moving on, right, to our astrological forecast for the week. There's another very interesting astrological forecast, general for all of us, for the week. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud too with my glasses. Don't I look old? At any rate. Okay, so this is rulingplanets.com, Christopher Renstrom, and this is for November 6th through the 13th. Really interesting. This is kind of interesting this week. We all have three selves, he writes. There's our public self, defined by the face we show the world, the role we play, and the responsibilities we accumulate. There's our private self. That's the person we really like on the inside, the one that we're most at home with. And then there's the third self, which is mysterious and unknowable. Some people say we feel it in our gut. It contains the seed of our personality, the self that we will grow in ways we never imagined, and that pushes us to push back against those who would encroach upon us. The Sun-Pluto sextile on November 9th will put you in touch with this deeper, truer you. And it will be just in time to keep you from straying from the path you should be on, or it will give you the fortitude to do what needs to be done. Oh my gosh, do I need some of that? Because I got to tell you, lately I've been like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Do you guys feel that way? Oh my gosh, I totally feel that way. But at any rate, yeah, so really, really interesting. Interesting situation there, right? So hopefully we'll get back on track with what we're supposed to be doing in our lives and just move forward, right? Move forward. Anyway, so what else? Let's see. I hope everybody's having a great week this week. It's been really interesting weather here in Southern California. It's getting cold. Like what, 2 weeks ago it was 100 and something degrees, and now it's like 50 or whatever. It's not 50. Okay, it's not 50. We're in Los Angeles, I know. It's more like 70, but at night it goes down to 50, right? So at any rate. Okay, so I want to give you the spirit line number if you'd like to call in for a reading. I am going to start and do this and explain to you about spirit guides. If you have any questions about your spirit guides, please feel free to call in. If you'd like a reading, please feel free to call in. My phone number down at the bottom here, 818-835-5885. And it feels good to be on the air every week. I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful that you all are watching, whether it's tonight, meaning Tuesday night at 5, or if it's later on somewhere, some other time. I'm just so thankful. So thank you so much for taking this journey with me. I started on my Facebook page, Lauri Albert, a happy medium and intuitive. I started doing gratitude every day. Like every day, I write one thing that I'm gratitude for, and I think today was day 4. Pretty sure today was day 4, and today I was just thankful for sleep. Why not, right? Why not be thankful for sleep? Because sometimes you just need it, right? So at any rate, that's the story on that. So okay, so what I want to do now is, before I get into the spirit guides and all of that stuff, I want to lead a meditation, and it's not going to be a really long meditation, and it's a prayer. So you could say it's a prayer or a meditation, whichever you choose, because it's up to you, whatever you feel the most comfortable with. This meditation is one that I use personally when I meditate on a daily basis. So I hope you enjoy it, and you can always come back. The great thing about YouTube is that you can come back and re-listen to it, and if you like that meditation, you can do it again, and you can do it again, and that sort of thing. So at any rate, okay. So what I'd like everybody to do, let's close our eyes and take a couple deep breaths in. Breathe in peace and contentment and love. And then we breathe out the stress of the day. And we take another deep breath in and breathe in joy. And breathe out all of the problems from today, the grocery list that you need to do. Just breathe it all out. Let your problems melt away. Take another deep breath. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this beautiful, beautiful day today. Thank you for our meals. Thank you for this roof over our heads. Thank you for the smiles that we were able to see today from so many people. Thank you for the pillow on our bed. And thank you for the love of the love in our lives and our families. Now I'd like for you to repeat, if you can, this following mantra that I like to say. It's a Hawaiian Oponopono prayer. And we're just going to repeat it over and over again for a few minutes. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now you can repeat it to yourself over and over. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. All the while breathing in peace and contentment. Take a deep breath in and out. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And let's take a few final deep breaths. Namaste. And thank you. You can open your eyes whenever you feel comfortable. Isn't that beautiful? That meditation or that prayer, it's just 4 simple phrases, but it's just so beautiful because it encompasses the world, it encompasses everything that we need in our lives. It encompasses, I'm sorry for any wrong that I may have done knowingly or unknowingly. It asks for forgiveness for that, for anything, right? Forgiveness. And then it's the gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much for just being, for everything, for life, for being alive. And then I love you. I love you to myself. I love you to my family and friends. I love you to the world. I love you. I love you. Love that. Isn't that great? So at any rate, that's, I just wanted to, start off with a nice meditation so we can all be on the same page, maybe. Let's hope. So at any rate, okay. So now I wanted to talk about spirit guides. I have had over the years many people ask me about their spirit guides. Who are my spirit guides? How do I meet them? Who are they? What are they? A lot of people ask all those questions, and they want to meet them. What are their names? So I wanted to talk about all of the different types of spirit guides that we have out there. A lot of times in my readings, I'll talk to the person sitting across from me's spirit guides. And, we all have at least, okay, here's the thing. We all have one spirit guide that is with us from birth to death, okay? So there's one. And you can have as many as however many, right? Whatever's going on in your life, maybe you need a different spirit guide, okay? So they come and go. Sometimes they're only in your life for a specific situation, a short situation or a long situation, okay? So I like to believe that the main guide that you have is the one that's, with you from birth to death. And it is sort of the one, I believe, that manages sort of all the other guides, okay? So there's that one. So that one is just like there for your sort of well-being overall, okay? Okay, so the next one, and this is in no particular order, right? Okay, so there's the first one that I want to talk about is the messenger guide, okay? The messenger guide is the one that gives you messages, period. Imagine that. So this guide is the one that I mostly connect with when I'm doing readings. Okay, whenever I'm giving readings, I connect with your spirit guides. I feel like that my spirit guides connect with your spirit guides whenever I give readings. Okay, and it's just a matter of the energies meeting. Okay, so that's what that is. The messenger guides can come to us in our dreams with messages. The messenger guides, they're kind of the ones. They're kind of the ones that you can ask a question to, and they will hopefully answer it. These aren't the guides these aren't the spirits that are your loved ones. This is a little bit different than that. These are the ones that help you maneuver through life. This is the one that's your gut instinct, right? When you, pardon me, I gotta move back here. Okay, so when you get a gut instinct about something, like I really shouldn't get in my car. I'm not gonna drive to the grocery store tonight. I'm not going to drive. I'm just going to wait. Now, that's your gut instinct, right? Well, what your gut instinct is actually your messenger guide giving you that message of the gut instinct. So, without even realizing it, if you're have any questions about your spirit guides, that's what this is. Okay, so there you go on that. So very interesting though, right? Okay, so that's your messenger guide. You can ask them questions. A lot of times what I'll do is, what I do and what I tell people to do is, if I have like a burning question and I don't feel like I'm getting the answer that I need to get, not that I want to get, right? It's that need to get. What I'll do is sometimes I'll write it down on my, on a piece of paper or something, or I'll ask my spirit guide before I go to sleep. I'll be like, okay, I really kind of need a guidance on this. I really need sort of, you need to tell me which way to go, left or right kind of thing, okay? And I do that before I go to sleep, and then I'll go to sleep, and then I'll wake up, and generally I'll have, I won't, like, sometimes you just know the answer, bing, bam, boom. But most of the time, I feel like I know which direction I should go in. Okay. So sometimes it's like a lightning bolt, but more than not, it's more like going to be it's going to be, what am I trying to say? It's going to be more like, just like, oh, I should probably do it that way. So again, trusting the gut instinct. Okay. Because sometimes we get a little bit too close to questions, and sometimes those questions, like, should I go to, okay, so colleges. You apply to 6 colleges and you get accepted into all of them. Which one should you go to? Okay, you're really invested in that decision, right? So this, what I like to, the going to sleep thing and getting up, maybe you would have a better direction when you wake up the next morning. Okay, so anyway, okay, so the next guide that I want to talk about is the protector guide. Okay, now the protector guide is obviously protection, and it's protection of physically, spiritually, emotionally. Okay, they're like, I like to, well, here's the thing. Archangel Michael is my protector guide for sure. Okay. As long as I can remember in doing this work, I have always had Archangel Michael by my side. I call him in before every reading, because it's more than just protection, like physical protection. It's actually spiritual protection and and emotional protection too, actually, so it's like protection all around. And I feel protected whenever I know that I've called him in. When I get into the car, it's a good thing to call in your protector guide. Now, your protector guide might be somebody else. It might be somebody else, but for me, it's Archangel Michael. And I will tell you the one time, and honestly, I've never had, how do I want to say this? I've never had a problem with negative entities, okay? And that's because Archangel Michael helps me stay at the higher vibrations meaning, like, I try to stay, people know me as the happy medium, right? So I try to stay happy. I try to stay in love. I try to stay in joy. I try. Not always. I mean, we all have our moments, right? But I try to stay in those like higher vibrations. And Archangel Michael, I believe, helps me stay in those things. Now, I just like everybody else, get jealous, right? That's a negative emotion, okay? I get angry sometimes. I mean, sometimes there's stuff going on in this world right now. I get angry, right? But the trick is to not stay, and that's a whole other conversation for another day, obviously. But the trick is to put it out there, acknowledge it, and then move on. So at any rate, Archangel Michael helps me with that. And what I do is, I was going to tell you the story about what happened one time was, when I first started doing this work, and I was trying to decide which sort of route that I wanted to take. Like, do I want to get into, because there's a lot of mediums and psychics that are involved in, like, with the police department and stuff. There was a TV show called Medium, and she was involved, and it was a true story. Maybe not all the episodes, but it was based on a true story where the girl was a medium, and she helped police solve, situations, crimes and stuff, murders and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe that's where I'm supposed to go. So here I am sitting there meditating one day, and I was actually, my friend and I were doing it together at the same time, and we were like, okay, so there was this missing person, and this person was presumed dead, okay, this girl, okay. So I started to meditate, and I said, okay, so I want to find out, did the girl, was she murdered? How was she murdered? Okay. So I get into my meditation and I start doing that. And all of a sudden, this was crazy. All of a sudden, I felt like, how can I explain? I felt something like this come at me. This is all in a split second, mind you. Okay. I felt something come at me, but then I felt whoosh. I felt the Archangel Michael. I know now. Well, actually, I knew then too. I felt Archangel Michael, like I felt like this negative energy was coming at me, or this negative entity, and I felt Archangel Michael go whoosh, like it was away, all in a split second. And honestly, right after that, I knew I wasn't supposed to work in that, because I'm supposed to work in the higher vibrations. Okay, so at any rate, that's what I learned. So at any rate, yeah, so that's your protector guide. I really have never had really a situation where I've been, and thank goodness, thank you for that. I appreciate it, because I don't want to have anything to do with the negative entities. So, You can ask your protector guide for help in any situation, anything, bar none. Okay? If you feel physically threatened or you feel anything, you will be helped. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay. So the next one that I want to talk about is your Gatekeeper spirit guide. And this one is, to me, the most fascinating. I don't know why, but it is. It's the most fascinating. This is an important one. When you decide you want to develop spiritual gifts, this is the one that actually, and they're all sort of interconnected, I want to say, but a gatekeeper spirit guide, sort of keeps you on your path, okay? Especially when you are, doing this spiritual work, okay? So basically what you do is, you ask for guidance, spiritually. And it can be, and I'm sitting here saying it could, you're on your spiritual journey, but it doesn't have to be if you're developing your gifts necessarily. It could be on your own spiritual journey, like without developing the gifts. It could be, like you want to feel closer to Buddha, or you want to feel closer to Jesus, or you want to feel, or whatever, you can have those conversations with that spirit guide. Okay. It's sort of the part protector, part director. You know what I mean? So it kind of helps you in whichever way to go. And like I said, what I said was before about the spirit guide where, I was trying to figure out if I should be like, maybe help out the police kind of thing. Well, that was what happened. Maybe my spirit guide the gatekeeper allowed me to sort of delve into that, but then Archangel Michael had to come in and be like, no, I don't think so, kind of thing, right? So that's kind of interesting. I really, I think that's great. Once you learn to trust your gut instinct, you'll feel the power and the importance of your gatekeeper spirit guide. Okay. So that's kind of interesting too. So let's see. Okay, the next spirit guide that I want to talk about is your teacher guide. Okay, and obviously this spirit guide is there to teach you. Imagine that. What is it that you need to learn, and how you're learning it? I know that might not make a whole ton of sense, but it's spiritually or otherwise. Where are you going? Like what spiritually do you want to learn next? It could be, the teacher spirit guide could be somebody indigenous. I have a Native American spirit guide that is really, really special. The Native American spirit guide is a woman for me, and she's a tough cookie, right? So when I connect with her, she only comes to me when I say, okay, I'm ready. And she's like really kind of tough. Like she'll be like, I will only help you out if you're willing to work. So she's like amazing, right? And she's there when I'm ready to work. And she, if I'm busy doing other things, then she goes the other way. I just don't feel her for a while. So it's really interesting. Your teachers, and there can be many different teachers. I mean, Jesus can teach you. Like I said, Buddha, any Buddha. I'm trying to think of other sort of ascended masters. Any of them can be a teacher guide for you. Okay. And again, maybe it, like for me, like I'm just giving you that example of the Native American woman, but it could be somebody teaching you just a quick lesson where they swoop in, they teach you this lesson, and then they go. So we all have that too. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Very interesting. I am really good at calling them in, the teacher guides. I'm really good at saying, yes, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. And then I'll get sort of sidetracked. Occasionally I'll get sidetracked where it's like, I'm not quite as good as I should be about it, And they, like I said, the Native American lady, she lets me know. So yeah. Anyway, so then there are healing guides. And the healing guides, they can be called in to heal you physically and spiritually and emotionally and psychologically. I mean, they are there to heal you. Now, you can call them in, like if you practice Reiki or any type of energy healing, you can do that. They can help you with that. Okay, they're actually really prominent in your life if that's what you're doing. If you're an energy healer or Reiki master, they are prominent, I guess I want to say, in your life, right? But if you're like Joe Schmo, like me, or whatever, the healer guides can come in and be there with you for a situation. It could be if you're sick. If you have the flu or if you have a disease, you can call in the healer guides and they will work with you. Now, here's the thing. There's lessons to be learned from being sick. Okay? There's lessons to be learned when you have a disease or when you have, when you're depressed or when you have anxiety. There are things to be learned from that. So, when you call in your healing guide, the healing guide can actually help with that, okay? The healing guide can actually help you learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn from any given circumstance, okay? So, and that's kind of difficult because, when you're going through a situation, whether you're depressed or, whatever, when you're going through a situation, you don't really want to think about how it's going to affect you or, whatever. But the reality is that, there's a lesson to be learned. So, however, it still has to do with, you can utilize you can utilize the healing guide and ask them for knowledge on how to heal the world. You can ask for knowledge on how to live in peace. You can ask for healing for the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like overall healing. It can be whatever you want it to be. And that's what I just love about spirituality, because spirit can come in and create for you your own personal spiritual beliefs. That's why I embrace all things spiritual. That's why I embrace all the religions. I love all the religions. I do, because I think they're important. And they are, Catholics. That's important to the Catholics. And there's a reason why you specifically, if you're Catholic or if you're Jewish or if you're Buddhist or whatever, that you are supposed to pray the way you pray. There's always a reason. I don't know. I just always believe that. There's always a reason for that. So at any rate, now I want to talk about karma. Okay. Now, most people know what karma, they think they know what karma is. Karma is, if you do something wrong to me, karma is going to come back and get you, right? Well, and in a sense, it does. Okay. It does, right? However, there's also the type of karma that goes from generation to generation to generation. Okay. Like estrangement from people in your life. Okay, like some people are estranged from their parents. Okay, so maybe their father was estranged from his parents. So you become estranged from your parents because it follows like a karmic ancestral thing, right? So or depression. Your mother's depressed, so you're going to be depressed, and then your kid's going to be depressed. Okay? You can be healed from that. The healer spirit guides can help you with that. Okay? I know I'm giving you like a ton of information. I'm sorry for that, actually, but I'm giving you a ton of information, but it's, it's all really relevant. It's all really relevant for our everyday lives. It's relevant for our everyday life. So at any rate, the behavior karma can be healed. Okay. And it can be healed by by these spirit guides. Okay, so then I want to talk about, and this one is, I just recently had heard about this, and I just think this is interesting. You have joy guides. How cool is that? You have guides that bring joy into your life, and they teach you how to create and have continuous joy and fun and laughter in your life. Who doesn't need more of that? I think that is cool. I think that was great. So I'm like, bring in the joy guide. I want some joy guide, you know. I love that. I thought that was great. So at any rate, yeah, so that's fun. Okay, so then, and here's like the funnest one. Funnest? Is that even a word? The most fun one is your animal spirit guides. Okay, a lot of people have animal spirit guides. Yeah, it's like so cool. It's your personal power. Okay. I know several people that have wolves or coyotes as their spirit guide or their animal totem. Okay, you can call it an animal totem. They're in shamanism, they call them the animal. They're called power animals in shamanism. In the Native American traditions, they're called the animal totems. So basically, they're all sort of spirit animal guides. Okay, but they're called kind of different things, that sort of thing. But they help you with your own personal power. And I find that to be so fascinating. So here's what you want to do: is you want to figure out what animal like sort of shows up. Like I know a lot of people who butterflies are their thing. Butterflies seem to show up, or hummingbirds seem to just show up, right? So maybe that is your animal guide, right? So I thought that was really kind of interesting. For me, it's not clear to me what my animal guide is. And what's interesting about that is that I actually am working on my own personal power. This show is a result of that, right? Because we all need to have our own personal power in this life, and we need to embrace that in our lives. So this show is a result of me learning how to capture my own personal power. But I just don't, I've never really, actually, I take that back. I can't even believe I didn't even think of this until just now. That is so crazy. Cows. I love cows. And if any of my friends are watching this right now, you know that I love cows. I think a cow is my animal totem. Oh, that is so cool. So, like, what is the animal that, like, does something for you? What is the animal that does something for you? Is it a cow? Oh my God, I just love that. I love cows. Aren't they, like, great? They're just like, they're amazing. I don't know. I don't know why I love cows. I've always loved cows. I think a cow must be my animal totem. So at any rate, animal guides, animal spirit guides, they can help you sort of maneuver through life, right? If you feel like a connection, and to me, I feel like it's also kind of like a tangible thing. Like a cow is you can touch a cow, right? You can touch the cow. Whereas the other spirit guides, you kind of can't touch them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you get your personal power from being being able to touch, being able to really be completely aware, I actually do. And it's so funny because the more I'm thinking about it, the more it's so true for me. Every time I see a cow, I feel like this, like I feel like relaxed. I feel like a peace. But I also at the same time feel power. I actually feel the power. I feel powerful. Oh, that is just so cool. Oh, I love that. Huh. So at any rate, yeah. So what animal is it for you, right? Okay, so now here's the next question. How do you meet your spirit guides? Now, you can meet your spirit guides mostly through like meditation, okay? I have done many meditations where and other people have led them in different classes and stuff, and you can meet your spirit guides through meditation. Okay, sometimes they just show up. I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you guys this story. This is how I met my spirit guides. And this is, I'll give you the short version because it's kind of a long story because I make everything long, right? So here's my story. When I was deciding to, I knew I was meditating. Okay, I'd meditated for a long time, right? And then I knew that I wanted to, I knew that something was pulling me into developing my gifts. Okay. And I was nervous about it. I was a little scared about it because I didn't know what it entailed, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so I was meditating, and I remember one day I started in the black of it. And I back then I meditated in complete silence. That's hard to find time to do, but early morning is the best time. If you want complete silence, early morning is the best time to do it. Anyway, so I'm meditating, and all of a sudden I see like blue. I see that indigo color, for your third eye. I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, that's what that was about. And I started seeing these blobs in that indigo blue purple color, like just floating around and floating around and floating around. And it was really cool. And I was like, hey, I've never seen that before. That's really interesting. So a whole bunch of time goes by. I am seeing these blobs going back and forth and around and all of that stuff. And I knew instinctively that I had asked somebody, I said, I keep seeing these blobs. And somebody said, oh, honey, that's your spirit guides. And I went, really? The blobs are my spirit guides? Like, really? That's crazy, So I went back and the next time I meditated, here I am meditating, and I started hearing, like sort of hearing in my mind, we are your guides, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is your name? And they were like, call us whatever you want. And I'm like, whatever you want. And all I could think of is, because I have no creativity sometimes in moments like that, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to call you the blobs because I don't have I can't think of any name. Like, is it names? Is it plural? Is it singular? I didn't know, right? So I called my spirit guides the blobs, right, for the longest time. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So, it was really kind of cool. And, and part of that, and that leads me to then trusting. Okay. We have to trust what we get. Okay. When you want to meet your spirit guides, if you're meditating or if you're doing a guided meditation where you're, going to meet your spirit guides, or you want to meet your spirit guides, you want to trust. Okay. That's a huge, huge thing to learn how to do. And that is, and especially if you're developing your spiritual gifts, that is one of the biggest sort of hurdles to get over, is trusting. Okay. And your spirit guides can help you with that. Okay. So basically what happens is that once you begin to trust, and that's your gut instinct, right? Our gut instinct is helping us decide making decisions in our life, who to trust, who not to trust, situations, all of that kind of stuff. And basically you just have to let go. You have to let go and trust. And with that comes sort of a newfound confidence. It comes a newfound excitement too, because you're continuing on in this journey of life, and it's like you have somebody that has your back, right? It's like a spirit guide is like somebody that has your back. I love that, right? Who doesn't want somebody that always has their back, that's with them all the time, right? So I would say meditate. When I was putting this episode together, knew I was going to talk about spirit guides. I decided that, I was trying to decide, should I do like a spirit guide meditation where we meet our spirit guides, or should I not? Didn't quite know how to handle that. So I decided not to. What I may do is, once things get rolling with the show better, I think I'm going to start doing like guided meditations where it's just guided meditations where you can just tune in. It's a guided meditation and then we're out kind of thing. So, so maybe I'll start to do that later. But at any rate, so you need to trust what you're getting, trust what you're hearing, trust that the blobs might be your spirit guides. Now the blobs have what's the word? Turned into other things. The blobs have turned into other things at this point. So, it is what it is. You might have blobs. You might know quickly who the names and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's a slow process getting to know your spirit guides, and sometimes it's not. So, for me, it was a slower process. So I will, I'll just leave it at that for that. But yeah, so meditation, it may come slowly to you, but meditation is always the way. And I know I feel like a drill sergeant when I talk about how we all need to meditate, right? But it's true. If you want to learn how to meet your spirit guides, meditation is going to be the way to do it. Okay? And trust. So, and here's my thing about trusting, and this is just kind of an aside. Once I learned how to trust my spirit guides, that's what I was seeing, that it was the spirit guides that were talking to me, then I sort of started, and this happened over a long course of time, but I was able to trust spirit for all the decisions I need to make in my life. Like, I have turned down people's readings. Like, people will call me and they'll say, "Oh, Lauri, I want a reading. Can you give me a reading?" Whatever. And I'll be like, "I'm not supposed to read you." I have turned down readings because you're not either, for whatever reason, whether it's they're not supposed to get a reading at this point in time, or if me personally isn't the medium for them, that's just the way it is, And, sometimes I'll be, like friends will call and they'll say, "Hey, let's go out to dinner," or whatever. And I'll be like, I can't, and I'll be like, "I can't, I'm just not supposed to," and my friends get me, thank goodness, but it could be very interesting, but you need to learn to trust. And once you learn to trust and you trust that it's your spirit guides giving you the gut instinct, then your life takes on all new meaning. It's crazy. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. So that being said, I want to, I've decided that at the end of every show, I'm going to leave you with a quote. And this week, I want to talk about Wayne Dyer. Okay, Wayne Dyer died a couple years ago, and he was just amazing. And I'm sure that a lot of you, if you're watching this and you're into this kind of stuff, you probably know who Wayne Dyer is. But he said something, and I'm going to pull this over here because it's really important to know. Okay, based on this conversation. And I just thought it was a beautiful comment, a beautiful quote. Hello. Okay, so this is from Wayne Dyer. "The essential lesson I've learned in life is to just be yourself. Treasure the magnificent being that you are, and recognize first and foremost that you're not here as a human being only. You're a spiritual being having a human experience." Now that just says it all, right? Be who you're supposed to be, okay? And that, in conjunction with learning who your spirit guides are, can really, really help you have a more fulfilled life. I am so blessed and lucky to have the life I have. I have an amazing husband, amazing daughter, amazing family, extended family, friends, everybody. I am so lucky. And guess what? Throughout the course of my life, I have had to say goodbye to some friends because they weren't for the highest and greatest good of me. When you start to develop yourself, whether you're developing your spiritual gifts or not, I'm not talking about, becoming a medium or psychic or whatever. I'm talking about just spiritual development. Because we are spiritual beings having a, no, wait, did I say that right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So once we are a spiritual being and we are having that experience, you know, we become happier. We live a better, more just amazing life. And that's what I want for you all throughout this whole, like all of these shows. That's what this is about. How to teach us all, including me. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but let's just learn let's learn together how to be our best selves and how to live our best life and how to be happy. Okay? I love that. Isn't that fantastic? So I'm going to leave you with all that this week. I hope that somebody gets to watch this video because I know that I'm not exactly live. I'm live on YouTube, but not live on Facebook. So I apologize for that. I will repost this video. You all are like, I thank you for all the comments that you write. Thank you for tuning into these shows. Thank you for all the lovely, beautiful things that you say to me. And thank you for the love that you share. And I appreciate who you are. Every single one of you, I appreciate who you are to me. So until next time, everybody stay happy. Take care.
Thank you for watching Spiritually Speaking with Lauri Albert.